Bam! What up guys? I'm Eric from the GoalTrainers, and in this video we will talk about what to do when you don't know what to do. Let's check it out. Have you also caught yourself maybe with saying I should work out again, or I should go on a diet again? Because now that the summer is a little bit ending, I hear that everywhere. I hear from friends of mine, I hear, well, I have to work out again, I have to go on a diet again, and etc, etc, etc. People have to go on healthy lifestyles again. And it seems like this one big trend of people that say, I should work out again. And one thing that they all have in common is that they say, I should do this, I should do that, and maybe it's a good idea that I should do this. Like, actually I should try a different diet. Actually I should try a different workout. But a lot of people actually don't start. So it becomes a trend of saying that you want something, but eventually not really going somewhere. So it got my attention really well. And I was thinking about the concept of why do we actually do this? And one reason why we do this is because of the concept of black and white thinking. And black and white thinking is thinking that the whole world is black and white. Something is either good or something is bad. Something is either black or it's white. While actually, things can also be gray. And this whole idea about black and white thinking actually got me thinking, because I don't exactly know where this comes from, but I do have my philosophy, and that is that when we were little kids, the way that we made sense about our world, and we still do actually, is by creating labels and putting them on the objects that we see. So this is my mom, this is my dad, this is my son, this is my daughter, and etc, etc, etc. And then when we go to school and we're doing all these projects and we're doing all these exams, we get to understand that some answers are good and some answers are bad. And if you have an answer that is a little bit outside of the box, and maybe it's even good in some perspective, if your teacher says that it's not good, then you should accept that, and then it's not good. So you're pasting all these labels like this is good, this is not good, and this is perfect, and this is a failure. And so we also understand that this is winning and this is failing. While it actually depends on which goal you have. For example, if your goal is to become the fattest person in the world, then it could be a really good idea to go to McDonald's every day. But if you want to get fit and you want to get healthy, then it's probably not the best strategy in the world. So it depends on which goal you have. But because we are creating all these labels, we are getting used to thinking about this is a failure and this is winning. So if you think that I'm not winning this game, therefore I'm failing this game, maybe the game of life, then it's getting really easy to fall into the trap of trying to get the perfect story in your mind before you take action. And a lot of people are frightened of the judgment of other people. And that also comes from they know that the other people have a black and white thinking. So if the other people think you are failing, then you are getting shamed of, and that is painful for you. And that's why you don't take action. So if we take this concept of black and white thinking, then what a lot of times happens is that most people know what they should do. Like if you tell someone, what do you need to do in order to lose weight? A lot of people know that they have to watch their diet and they have to watch what they do with their exercise. And so what happens a lot is that people know what they should do, but they don't take action because in their head they have already created this perfect world on how everything should be. And they subconsciously know that if they take action, that they will get confronted with the hard facts of reality. For example, that exercise is not that simple, that holding yourself accountable to your diet is not that simple. So what happens is that people create a perfect world in their own mind, and because they have the perfect world in their own mind and they spend so much time walking around in that world, that's where inaction happens in the real world. So perfect action in your head is most of the time inaction in the real world. You won't get any real results in the real world when you're walking around in your perfect head. So I already hear you thinking, but Eric, if I can't have this perfect world in my head and not creating any actions in the real world, what should I do then? How can I create the real actions in the world while still having this fantasy-like mindset in my own head? Well, how you can do that is, instead of perfect in action, so perfect in here, but in action in the real world, you can create imperfect action. So instead of wandering around in your perfect fantasy-like fantasy in your head, you can also step into the real world and just take action, even though you know that it's not perfect, even though you know that there should be something better to do. But because you're creating the imperfect action, you learn from that imperfect action, and you learn by yourself, and not just all the time from other people. You learn by yourself on how to be responsible for your own actions and how to be responsible for your own results. Really short, what is the concept of imperfect action? Well, I have the perfect example for that, and I actually imagined that like 2 days ago. And the example is, we all have this one experience where we wanted to play a card game, and there was just one person in the whole group who understood that card game. And so everyone is listening to that one person, and say you're with 6 people, just 5 people are looking at him like, huh, interesting what he's saying, but I have no idea how to apply the things that he is saying to me because we're not playing the game. So eventually, like, everyone is just looking at him and just a little bit of vague glaze over their eyes, and then eventually one person will say, well, can't we just play the game and then we'll figure it out along the way? And that is most of the time the best action to take, and that is imperfect action. You just start, and along the way you're creating the stepping stones into understanding how the game works, the game of life. To glue all these things together and not just make this a wishy-washy woo-woo thing video of the thoughts that are going on in my head. Now I'm going to give you practical tips that you can use in order to create real results in the world when you don't even know where to start. And the first tip is all about just taking the first step. And it sounds really easy, but it's just about that you are judging yourself by the action steps you take and not by the results that you are getting. First, your result should be that you take action, that you put on your running shoes, that you actually go for 1 kilometer walk. You can even walk, that's totally no problem. It's about that you take action. And then later on, when you're doing that and it's a habit, then you can look at all the results that you're creating, and then you can look at how to optimize the results that you're getting. But first, judge yourself by the action steps you take and not by the results that you are getting already. And so tip number 2 is to talk about it with other people, because you have your fantasy world in your head, but in order to create results in the real world, it could be a really good idea to get a second perspective. So if you're talking about what you want to achieve, you want to work out, you want to start your diet, you want to create this whole healthy lifestyle and the habits that come with that, when you're talking with another person, you're getting a new perspective on your fantasy world in here. So you're getting new perspectives on how to actually start with creating real results in the real world. So do all these tips and let us know how it's going. If you don't have anyone to talk about it, then just post it in the comments. We will read everything and we will comment on everything. And otherwise, I'm challenging you to talk about it with a stranger in the bus. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Eric and I want you to come fly with us.